The world first met Toke Makinwa as the voice on the radio, playful, bold, and full of life. But behind the laughter was a woman learning to heal in public. Everyone had the scandal, but only few knew the story. And fewer still saw the strength it took to become whole again. When your life is in public, your pain is too. Toke watched her life and her marriage fall apart right under the spotlight of a million screens.
Going through what I went through, it's not a new thing that would happen, you know what I mean? But then it happened in such a
public space.
People had the liberty of going to their homes and just closing their curtains and crying to themselves. And I had to have a face for the public. Right after he confessed and told me that happened, he still asked our chef to give him food. And he still ate while I was on the floor crying.
The world had opinions, social media had jokes, but somewhere between the mockery and the memes, Toke made the decision to own her narrative before it owned her. She wrote a book on Becoming. That book was raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically human.
Becoming is my personal project, like I love to call it. Becoming was born from a place of pain, the struggle of survival.
In telling her story, she turned shame into strength. In a culture that tells women to hide their hurts, she did the unthinkable. She healed out loud. Her book became a mirror for thousands of women who had been taught to suffer silently. Every page of that book whispered, "You are not alone." And for the first time, a generation of African women saw that broken doesn't necessarily mean you are finished. Healing is not always linear. It comes in waves, forgiveness, relapse, acceptance, peace. Toke relearned herself, not as a victim, but as a woman who refused to stay in pieces. She started again. New career, new faith, new boundaries. Her voice grew softer, but her presence grew stronger. She no longer spoke to be heard, she spoke to help. There's a different kind of power in being soft after passing through a storm. The world teaches us to build walls after betrayal, but Toke chose to build windows instead. Through them, we watched her rediscover joy, faith, and femininity, not as performance, but as healing. Her transformation was not revenge, it was self-renewal. So from radio to runways, from heartbreak to healing, Toke has become a symbol of rebirth. She reminds us that your story is not the sentence. Every painful chapter teaches something about courage, boundaries, and becoming. And when you share it, you give others permission to start their own recovery. Healing in public takes grace. It takes forgiveness without forgetting. It takes courage to let the world see you mend. Toke taught us that boldness isn't about never breaking. It's about never staying broken. It's about never staying down.
And people would say to me, "You're so strong, Toke, you're so strong." But I wasn't always strong.
Yeah.
I went to work the next day after everyone was talking about me because I needed the coins. I didn't want to be heartbroken and broke. No, and as real as I needed to work to keep the money because I needed the money. I knew that this was my new normal and hey, I can't go through a heartache and then pack up my life and my career and be broke. And no one was giving me money.
Because becoming whole is not about erasing the past. It's about reclaiming your future. In a world that glorifies perfection, Toke Makinwa reminds us that the real beauty is not completely flawless. Because when a woman heals in public, she gives others the courage to believe that they can too. Wholeness is not flawless. It is not smooth. it is a daily decision. Our Zara today has been Toke Makinwa, a woman who turned her story of pain into strength and her healing into hope for others. May we all find the courage to mend openly, to let light touch even the broken parts of us. Join us on our next episode as we uncover another Zara.